Hey everybody, what's going on? Hexlex here, got another Master Duel video for you. So today we're going to be coming back to Swordsoul for our Season 16 deck profile. And I was looking over some of the more recent lists that have done well. This is what I like to do, like about the end / beginning of any given season, is I'll go through a lot of the decks that I like to use regularly and just kind of like pull up Master Duel meta and look at some recent Diamond 1 and tournament lists, as well as the deck breakdown, and kind of compare that to my current build. I think it's nice to do that for, going through your decks and doing that once every like couple of weeks or so, just to make sure that you're keeping up with the current meta as far as like techs go, seeing what's working, what isn't. Maybe there's like a new engine that had just come out or that people are just discovering or is only good in this particular environment. So switching the builds up is often good. Swordsoul Tenyi, however, is one of those decks where I don't really find myself often doing that because there's really not a lot to update. And I really have not changed the deck at all from the last time I changed it, which was only to take out Desires and put in the 3 triple tactics talent. I do find myself liking triple tac, even in this deck, a lot more than Desires. I've seen quite a few builds that are playing like 3 Desires and then also 2, maybe even 3 sometimes triple tac, but I don't know, that also comes at the cost of like, I probably take out something like Nibiru and Crossout Exterminator in order to fit those, and I really like having both of these cards just in general. So yeah, I think I'm just going to keep them and ultimately just keep this Swordsoul Tenyi list the same. I feel like this has been the case for the last like 4 months now. When I do like my seasonal deck profile for Swordsoul Tenyi, I'm just kind of like, yep, it's Swordsoul Tenyi. It's still pretty much the same. It's still just trucking along, but of course I always make this point too, but I do think the point stands that like, it's pretty cool to see a deck that can hold its own in the meta going relatively unchanged for as long as it has. Although I do think we are starting to see Swordsoul Tenyi. We're definitely starting to see it on the decline ever since Sprite came out. We're seeing the meta kind of shift, not just in terms of like what decks are being played, but the overall power level of the meta, right? Between sprites and the Ishizu cards, those hugely boosted the power of decks in general. And then, of course, with tier limits, and I think Baronne herself as well, also on the horizon, that's only going to continue to be the case. And Swordsoul Tenyi just does not get new support. It just like, it kind of languishes in that regard. If Swordsoul Tenyi got like 1 or 2 pieces of like decently strong but not overpowered support, like I would think that would go a long way towards keeping them relevant, but alas, that's not going to be the case. It really, Chixiao and Longyuan really was like the last good support that this deck got. It's sad, honestly, but of course that doesn't mean that Swordsoul Tenyi is bad. Not at all. The deck is still more than just solid. It's good. I would still call it tier 2 at this point. Some tier lists have it on tier 3, and in terms of representation that might be the case, but when I like to, decide where I think a deck should go on a tier list, I like to factor in not just how much it's seeing play, but also its like power level overall. And I think the power of Swordsoul Tenyi is still somewhere around tier 2. Although I do think that, once we see some new, even more powerful decks come out, we will see Swordsoul Tenyi just start to slip even further. And I don't think it's going to be too long before we do see this deck become ultimately tier 3. Now, of course, as I always point out when we talk about tier rankings, any deck that's tier 1, 2, or 3, or honestly Rogue for that matter, with a dedicated pilot, they're all still more than capable of hitting Diamond 1. And a lot of people who've been playing Swordsoul Tenyi at this point have experienced enough with it now that they can still easily take that deck to Diamond 1. So if you really like the deck, or if it's like your main go-to competitive deck, I wouldn't worry like too much. Things are going to get more difficult. I won't sugarcoat that. Like, things are going to get like more difficult, but that doesn't mean it's going to be impossible for this deck to keep its position in the meta. So I thought with this one, at the time I'm recording this, we actually just saw it, like the season change from 13 to 14. So I thought might be fun to show like my literal first games of the season as live duels rather than replays. So we'll go ahead and give this a shot. I'll be doing some live games here with Swordsoul Tenyi. So let's go and break the list down first. We're on 2 Tenyi Spirirt Adhara, 3 Maxx, 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 1 Tenyi Spirirt Shthana, 3 Swordsoul of Mo Ye, 2 Swordsoul of Taia, 2 Incredible Ecclesia, the Virtuous, 2 Swordsoul Strategist Longyuan, 2 Tenyi Spirit Vishuda, 3 Tenyi Spirit Ashuna, 1 Nibiru the Primal Being, 1 Archnemesis Protos, 3 Triple Tactics Talent, 3 Swordsoul Emergence, 2 Call by the Grave, 1 Crossout Exterminator, 2 Heavenly Dragon Circle, 3 Infinite Impermanence, and then 1 Swordsoul Blackout. That's going to be it for the main deck. For the extra deck, we're on 1 Yazi, Evil of the Yang Zing, 2 Baxia, Brightness of the Yang Zing, 1 Draco, Berserker of the Tenyi, 1 Adamancipator, Risen Dragite, 2 Swordsoul Grandmaster Chixiao, 1 Chao Feng, Phantom of the Yang Zing, 1 Baronne de Fluer, 1 Swordsoul Supreme Sovereign Cheng Ying, 1 Swordsoul Sinister Sovereign Qi Xing Longyuan, 3 Monk of the Tenyi, and then 1 Shaman of the Tenyi. There's our list. Now let's look at some games. Alright, so there it is. Proof that I am just entering this standard season. Did I say 14 earlier? It's season 16. You got it. Yeah, so let me go ahead and change my deck over to my Swordsoul. You can see how long it's been since I've actually like edited my Swordsoul deck because it's so much further down than all these other decks I've edited. But now let me go ahead and pick this one and hop into our first duel of the season. Hopefully it's a good one. Alright, we will be going second here. Oh yeah, I got the new Galatea mate. Although it doesn't really seem to, like, I don't know. When that came out, I was like, ooh, a Galatea mate, but I don't know. I haven't gotten it yet for myself. It doesn't really seem like it does a whole lot. Okay, so we open Imperm. We have that going for us. Our opponent's on a 40-card deck. They're going to start with the Chixiao. I think I am going to Imperm this. Like, yeah, there's a chance they have a Sprite monster in hand, but if they don't, or if this is like pure Life Twin, then this might be enough to just stop them here, unless they've got a Crossout. Okay, they don't. They're probably just going to special summon a Sprite monster here, though, to be fair. Although maybe they don't. Hopefully they don't. That'd be very, very good for you if they don't. Oh, they don't. That's beautiful. Beautiful. All right. All right, I mean, we're just off to the races at this point, right? Like, we have Mo Ye, we have... Actually, we could even special summon Vishuda and then use Mo Ye to reveal Protos. Is there a reason to do that? That would put a Monk of the Tenyi on board. It would also allow us a bounce. I don't really think we need to do that in order to win, though. We could also just special Vishuda in attack mode and just, like, potentially beat with it. Trying to figure out if there's like a big con to specialing Vishuda here, like if there's a downside. I don't really think there is, right? Mo Ye is just going to reveal Protos. So also put like potentially more attributes in our graveyard. So let me start by activating Vishuda. This also might be nice to see if our opponent's got a response in hand. They do have a Maxx, but we have a call by, so I think this is fine. Okay, cool. So let's just hope now they don't have like a Veiler in hand. Imperm doesn't do anything here because they have a card on the field. They could still have a Nibiru in hand as well. That's worth considering, but I don't know if it's necessarily worth like playing around. Because we can also summon Protos after Nibiru if we play this right. And our opponent's just going to concede. Okay, great. So it's a pretty quick first duel. In fact, I'm not even going to really, I think, bother editing around that. Let's just go ahead and go straight into our next duel here. Normally I like to, you know, as you all know, cut between games and stuff, but if we can actually get enough solid games in a row here, I would not mind having myself saving a little bit of editing work there. So, winning the coin flip, of course, we're going to pick to go first this time. Okay, we're against a 60-card deck here. Opening the triple attack is nice. Let's see, we got an Emergence and a call by. Okay, this hand's actually not bad at all. Like, we can play around Baxia, we can play around Ash Blossom, we have a triple attack to punish either. So, let's start with an Emergence here. Okay, looks like our opponent does not have either, so of course I'm just going to get Mo Ye here. And we can reveal this Shthana. They're going to have Veiler or Imperm. I would, of course, rather they have the Veiler here, so that way I can activate triple attack. But neither would be ideal. Okay, they're going to have one. It's probably going to be Veiler if it's a 60-card deck. I think it's a little more likely to be Veiler, but it's Imperm. That's rough. That is rough. Ripperino. Alright. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have much of a choice here except to just set Call By and then pass. Although Call By and Ash Blossom is not the worst case. as far as having disruption for your opponent's turn goes. I'm going to flip this to on. I often do this during my opponent's turn. Although, what else I like to do is, I have it set to where I can... Okay, they're activating Twin Twister. Discarding Edge of Chain? What? That's so fine. Are you kidding me? Yeah, because we always just do this. Cool. So our opponent just -2'd themselves. And we still have an Ash Blossom against a branded Espia deck. That's really good. But yeah, like I was saying, I have my toggle set to where if you left click, it'll have it held to on. And then if you right click, it'll have it be off. So like on, off, on, off. And that setting is under dual. Switch and hold under activation confirmation is how you want to set that up there. So yeah, I let this Alibur resolve because, I mean, I'm going to wait and hold the Ash Blossom for their branded fusion. They probably know I have Ash Blossom now, but I don't really care if they do. They only have 2 other cards in hand. They end up getting Expulsion. Wow, that's interesting. Okay. Alright, they already had Fusion, but yeah, we're just, of course, going to throw out the Ash Blossom here. So they have Expulsion and 1 Unknown. That Expulsion is not particularly scary. I don't think anyway, right? Yeah, they have to send the card to the graveyard. Yeah. They have to have a card in graveyard that they want to put on my field. They do get to battle over Mo Ye. Like, the thing is, I stopped their turn, but I kind of still need to have a play for myself here. I might... Huh, that's an interesting draw. Oh, that's actually a really good draw. Wait a second. So I can special Shthana, activate Heavenly Circle, sack Shthana, add Taia, and then go into my plays. Right? That works, yes. Tribute 1 Worm Monster, add 1. I don't know why I'm always paranoid. It's because if you special the monster, it negates its effect. That's really what you have to keep in mind. But yeah, let's special Shthana in defense mode. Activate Circle. Sack Shthana. And I will add a Taia, right? Because I don't have anything I can reveal in my hand. So we're going to get Taia here. Alright, now we can normal summon Taia. And, ooh, good. I don't think our opponent has anything they can do in hand. Because when you see the card glow like that quickly... Actually, is there any reason I would want to banish Mo Ye here? I don't think there is. In fact, I think quite the opposite. I think I want to maybe even bring back Mo Ye at some point this turn. Okay. Is there any reason why I would want to summon Yazi here? Because I could do that right now. That would let me special Mo Ye, but I don't have anything to reveal in hand, so no, there's no reason for me to want to summon Yazi. Chao Feng obviously is not going to be as good as Chixiao will be here either. And of course we're going to chain block the Chixiao with Taia's effect. Taia, I think I'm just going to have that send Ashuna. I don't think there's anything else I want in the graveyard more. Nope. As for what Chixiao is going to get, let's see. Did we use Emergence this turn? We used that last turn, right? Let me check my little dual log here. The dual log, in fact. Well, not the dual log. This is just a dual log. No, I don't think I used Emergence this turn, so I will go ahead and add that to my hand. That's going to let me search Protos. I'm going to search Protos, and I'm going to call Dark, and my opponent's going to probably just concede at that point. I should have double-checked this, but I was like, yeah, there's no way I don't have enough attributes in Graveyard. I should have double-checked that first, but I was very confident that I had enough. I'm going to banish the Ash Blossom, the Shthana, and the Taia. It's fine. Alright, and then we will activate Protos. This will, of course, not only destroy our opponent's Alibur, but also keep them from special summoning dark monsters during the next turn. So, we don't have, like, lethal on this turn. Maybe we could have found it if we looked a little bit harder, but... I mean, our opponent can't special dark, like I said, so... I don't know realistically what they could do. I mean, they could... Okay, they could top deck a Brain Diffusion, go for Albion. That's light, and then go for another... But, I mean, I have the Chixiao to get as well, so... Should probably be fine. Let me hold this to... I know there's no need to hold this to on in this situation. Branded opening, that's fine. Discarding the Expulsion. If they search an Alibur and add it to hand and then normal it, I'm absolutely going to negate it with Chixiao. Yeah. I don't think the odds of this last card being Branded Fusion is terribly high. Although if it is, I'm definitely going to kick myself. Okay, let's see. I don't think there's any reason I need to activate Emergence here, so I won't. Watch your last card. Okay, yeah, I was going to say. I was about to be like, watch your last card actually be Branded Fusion. Okay. Alright, that was another nice game we got in there. I'm just going to go straight into the next one. That's totally fine with me. Again, the less editing I have to do, the better. Okay. It's like we won the coin flip again. Yeah, normally when I do edit out games, like during a live duel session, or like when I'm playing live, it's because the duel just is... I mean, this is the case. It's the same thing of, you know, what dictates whether I save a replay or not. Win or lose, I will always save a good back and forth game, but if it's a quick match either way, then yeah, it's not really that great. Oh, these new sleeves are gorgeous. Wow. I really like those. I thought my opponent had Book of Moon sleeves for a second. That'd be a great sleeve too. Holy shit. But anyway, thinking about the game here, this Emergence is pretty good, although we also already have Protos in our hand. This hand in general is really solid. I think I might just start by normal summoning Mo Ye, and I think I'll just reveal the other Mo Ye. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I would want to do. We'll start with that. If I could use Emergence to grab like an Ashuna here first, I would absolutely do that, but no, you have to have a Synchro monster to search any worm. Okay, our opponent does have some kind of response here. It's going to be Imperm. That's annoying, but ultimately fine. Because here's the cool thing. Now I can still activate Emergence, and then I'll summon the Longyuan, or I'll add the Longyuan, and then I'll pitch Mo Ye to summon it. And I'll probably just summon Chixiao. Or our opponent could just concede. This is, see, I'll just go to the next duel here, but this is the exact kind of game that normally I would edit out or, like, obviously not save the replay for. This happens a lot. I'm surprised it's even, well, I guess, you know, we're in Plat 5, so you can't D-rank, which is probably why my opponent conceded that quickly, but we'll just go on to the next one here. That is A-okay. I might just go unedited for, like, just a little while, maybe, like, 25-ish minutes or so. I might just try to do that. Alright, so we are going first once again. I know a lot of people, because I always see this in the comments when people are like, you know, when I play post live duels or, you know, even mention the word, people are like, oh, why don't you stream? You should stream. For me, it's like, I've never really, and this is not just the case of like making content, but also watching it. I've always been way more into YouTube than I've been into like streams. Okay, so here, we're just normal Mo Ye, reveal Vishuda, right? There's no reason I'd want to Ecclesia. That would just open me up to getting Ash Blossom. I can also save this for the next turn and special and potentially make plays. So yeah, we'll just normal summon Mo Ye here. But yeah, streaming, I don't know. I just get a little like anxious, honestly. I don't really like talk about, you know, myself as a person too much. Normally I just like to keep it focused on like the, you know, the duels, the Yu-Gi-Oh content. But I am honestly tend to be a pretty anxiously, like, a socially anxious person, and streaming can kind of bring that out a little bit, like, so for that reason I just tend not to do it. There's also other reasons I find it a little bit stressful, but alright. I also just, like I said, again, this is true of not just me, like, making content, but also watching it. I tend to prefer YouTube videos because I prefer a more, like, quote-unquote curated experience, right? I tend to value that just a little bit more highly than, I mean, there is something to be said for, like, a live performance, don't get me wrong. And I don't think, you know, I'm not saying, like, YouTube is better than Twitch, like, you know, it's obviously, it's a preference thing. Wow, we drew Longyuan, that's so good. That means we can search Emergence and go for Protos. Could also get Blackout, but nah, we'll just, actually, can we Protos here? Yeah, because we use Ash Blossom, right? Oh, but that's 2 fires. I don't think we can actually... No, if I discard Vishuda, that'll be a dark. So yeah, that will be enough. Okay, so yeah, let's get Emergence here. Yes, add it to hand. But yeah, like I was saying, I just, you know... I tend to prefer... I mean, you maybe even be able to tell a little bit that my commentary is a little bit different, even as I'm, like, playing while I'm talking. That's the other thing, too. That's the big thing for me, is, like, the quality of my play takes a noticeable decrease, noticeable to me anyway, a noticeable decline when I have to, like, live commentate over my games as well. To be fair, I guess usually while I'm getting duels for replays, I'm just like watching videos anyway, so I'm distracted either way. But like, that's also why I don't stream my MCS runs. Is that yeah, I don't know. I just want to be focused in the game in the moment, honestly. All right, so let's go. Boom and yeah. So that's kind of the long and short of why I don't stream more often. That's not to say I will never stream again. I mean, it's also a kind of a time factor too, right? Like, I already have to spend a decent amount of time recording and editing videos and whatnot, so there's a few different factors. I put it on a 60 card deck. I should have pointed that out. It was also on the Ghost Trick board. I like when our opponents are on the Ghost Trick board because I was gonna say I love spinning the table, but can I not do that? Does Gaia block the table? Oh no, rip Gaia. Anyway, okay, our opponent normal summoned Quackymere Guardian. Okay, that's fine. So we're up against Adamancipator. Oop, not off. I want to set this to on. Ugh, that grass looks greener, eh? Shoot, if I had actually chained Chixiao... Well, this is still fine, right? No, it's not. If I chain Baron to the grass, my opponent's gonna chain the Guardian, and that will negate and destroy my Baron. Ugh. I was gonna say, if I had chained Chixiao to the summon of Guardian, which I actually kind of considered doing, then I could have Baron to the grass here. I was too distracted by the fact that I can't click on the table because Gaia's in the way. That sucks. Okay. What did my opponent mill? Okay, there's nothing I really have to call by here. Read Block Dragon. Block Dragon is not here. Oh, wait, they have Tackle Crusader, though? Gross. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to call by the Tackle Crusader. They can do all these other effects. These other effects are all fine. Including the Agita. I don't care as much about that, but I definitely want this Baron to stick around, so let me... Okay, it's also worth thinking about just randomly throwing out the Chixiao on the Guardian here. Just to shut it off for the turn. And then I can use the Baron later. What do I call buying? I'm call buying the Tackle Crusader so that I can keep the Baron up. I mean, they can't Guardian the call buy, obviously, but I still have the problem later where if I want to use Baron... Although if my opponent's going to use a monster effect later, I could just use Chixiao on that. And then my opponent could Guardian, and then I could Baron the Guardian. Although it kind of doesn't make a difference either way, and in fact it might even be better the other way around, because I'd rather Baron something that's going to be on the field anyway, as opposed to something that's going to sack itself, so, okay. This is going to look a little bit weird, but I'm going to try this. Before I activate Call By, I'm going to Chixiao the Quackymere Guardian. Then I will Call By on the Tackle Crusader, so that it doesn't flip my Baron face down. This is also nice because... My opponent's going to try to add Cardahan here anyway, but my opponent could also have tried to special summon a Researcher. That would have been another reason to have Chixiao in response to the summon as well. Alright, let's banish the top. Yeah, I got distracted by this stupid table. Otherwise, I would have probably thought a little bit hard about chaining the Chixiao. Oh, they had a Shuffler too. Fuck. Oh, that's not good. I'm going to have to Baron the Shuffler now to keep the Baron up in attack mode as opposed to just having it flipped face down. Ooh, this definitely went south. Again, I should have paid more attention when looking at their graveyard. I would have seen that they had the... Well, they had two Shufflers. I really should have noticed that. Again, like I said, I don't know. When I do this live commentary, I just find myself, like, a little more distracted. Yeah, I'll negate the Mudora, not just to keep my Baron face up, but also so they don't put Deer Note back in their deck. Oh, they'll just chain Keldo, so that's gonna have to be fun. Okay, they didn't chain Keldo, but they still have Keldo. So we're out of responses here. That's definitely a problem. What did they mill? Oh, of course, they milled the Block Dragon. Yikes. Well, you know, that's probably just going to be the end of this duel for us. But I won't concede just yet. I'm going to make my opponent play it out, at the very least. There's no reason to activate that. But what I was saying, and what I got distracted by, was that I really like it when the opponents have the Ghost Trick board, because I like spinning the table, but it looks like you can't spin the table if you have the Gaia mate, even if I click like up here. Well, clicking up here doesn't... Oh no, yeah, clicking up here even... Wow, that's, yeah, clicking up here prompts the Gaia to do something. That's weird. Huh, well that sucks. I really like spinning the table. That might actually be enough for me to decide to change my mate, I don't know. Okay, at this point I'm just waiting for my opponent to have... Although, they can't summon Dark, so they can't go for Access Code, or Nightmare Unicorn, or Chaos Ruler, or Zombie Vampire. I think that's everything that it cuts them off from. But that might be enough combined with my board presence for them to not have lethal here. That might actually be enough. What did they mill from my deck off of the... They milled an Ashuna. Okay, so they actually did mill something relevant. Sinking for the Cheng Ying, huh? I mean, if you're going to win this turn, that's probably going to have to be how you do it, is with Cheng Ying. Oh, wait, okay, so now they can summon Block... I totally forgot they had access to Block Dragon still. Well, okay, but... I mean, with Block... Yeah, with Block Dragon and Cheng Ying, that's probably going to be enough to do it. Ooh, they're teching out Ghoul Mazira. That's a cool tech. I almost thought about playing that myself. That's a really cool tech. I really like that. Interesting that they adjusted the level down to 7. I wonder if they're actually going to summon Braver. The reason you would play Ghoul Mazira, by the way, is to summon Braver. You can go into it... Because it can adjust its level down to 7, you can go into Braver with, you know, with an Adamancipator, Tuner, Seeker, or Researcher, plus the Ghoul Mazira. Or you can also leave the Ghoul Mazira level 8 and go for either level 10 Synchro or the Zombie Vampire. The other cool thing you can do with Ghoul Mazira to set it up in the graveyard for Braver, and I wonder if my opponent is playing Immortal Dragon in their extra deck. We'll check after this duel, because if they are... yeah, you can use Immortal Dragon to send Ghoul Mazira to set up your Braver engine. I actually really like the idea of that, but I haven't tested it out lately because I've been using the Prank Kids engine, and that's already 2 extra deck slots, so to dedicate another extra deck slot to an engine is like, that you don't necessarily need to play, seems a little, you know, it might be a bit excessive. Yeah, I think my opponent might actually be going for the Braver here. Okay, also my opponent definitely has lethal at this point. Like, I don't think they need to summon dark monsters in order to do it. Yeah, they're going for Braver. Neat, alright. Yep, you can discard my Ecclesia. Excuse me. So let's see. Oh, they still haven't used that Excavate yet. I was gonna say, normally here you would just go for an access code and end it pretty easy. Here, if they have another 10, they can go for their own Baron. Of course they have another 10. So yeah, they're just gonna go for Baron, pop my Baron, and then, yeah, they have enough attack points so they can battle this way, and then just swing at me for lethal. But, as always, ever, I'm going to make my opponent have the lethal, because even beyond your opponent not finding lethal, even if you can see it, and that happens sometimes, where even if you can see your opponent's line to victory, sometimes they miss it. I mean, disconnects are a very real thing. Sometimes your opponent's connection will just go bad. I've had that happen where my opponent has been about to win, but they get really unlucky and they just disconnect, and then I end up winning. So that's happened in tournaments too. That's happened. There was an MCS where I think someone was like 3-0 and they had a feature match and their iPad died, and the opponent ended up winning as a result. So yeah, that's why I usually like to say make your opponent have the lethal. Alright, so I think that's going to go ahead and do it for this video here. Yeah, wow, I'm glad we got some pretty good live games in here at the start of the season. So let me just show off, again, my unedited Swordsoul Tenyi deck. Yeah, first few games there. Hope you enjoyed these live duels. Let's go ahead and move now to our outro. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching all the way to the very end of the video like this. That means a whole lot to me. Not just personally, but it's also a great way of supporting the channel as well. If you're interested in supporting the channel in other means, you can of course feel free to comment and or subscribe right here on YouTube. I'm always looking to the comments section. You guys leave some pretty awesome feedback as far as like constructive criticism goes when it comes to deck building, gameplay, channel content, all that stuff. So feel free to leave your opinion down there. I will be sure to take a look at that there. And then subscribing is going to be the best way to get notifications of when these videos drop. That does happen every day, by the way, so if you're looking for daily Master Duel content, you've come to the right place. And there are more places where you can get some daily Master Duel content. If you check out the description below, follow the top link over to my Patreon page. There for just $5 a month, which is as much as you pay for a booster pack. You'll find a lot more value than a pack full of filler over there. We've got some previews for content upcoming here on the channel. We've got some exclusive games that are only posted over on Patreon over there. We've got some Q&As, and then you can also have your name featured in this lovely credit sequence where I thank all of the people who are helping contribute over there on Patreon. It's a huge support to the channel, and it really means a lot as well. So thank you everyone who is donating that is featured here on screen. And again, you know, it's not just a pure donation, you do get some more daily Master Duel content over there just for being a part of the Patreon. But I think that's about all the time that I have for today's video. Once again, I just want to thank you so very much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. Again, it just means a lot as I do put a decent amount of work into getting these videos out every single day. But that's about all the time that I've got for now. So without further ado, this is Xlex. I'm signing out, and I hope you have a fantastic day.